Welcome to HyperScale Video Workshop. I'm Brett Green. I happened to be browsing HyperScale's plain talking forum yesterday morning, and I noticed that, I think it was Simon Wolf, said that the Airfix 1/72 scale Bristol Beaufort Mk.I was actually available locally in Australian shops. This is despite the fact that even on the head office Airfix website, the Beaufort is still down as pre-orders, and even big British retailers such as Hannants don't have it in stock yet. So I gave a fairly local hobby shop a call, Model Sports down in Wollongong. It's about 50 or 60 kilometres from where I live, and sure enough they had one in stock. They said they had about a half a dozen at the beginning of the week, and that this was the last one that they had. So I asked David to put one aside for me, and here it is. The Airfix 72nd scale Bristol Beaufort Mk.I. Available inexplicably, for some reason, only in Australia at the moment. And I think I wouldn't like your chances of actually picking one up now, because once the word was out yesterday, it seems that the last remaining models were cleared off the shelves. So here we are. I thought I would do another one of my unboxing videos, so share the my first impressions of the model for the very first time that I opened the box. It's still sealed here, so let's grab the knife and we'll just have a look at the contents. I just stabbed my thumb. Modelling, it's a very dangerous hobby, isn't it, really? Wind up stabbing yourself all the time, or I do all the time. I don't know about you. So it's a soft lid on a top opening box, and as per usual we have a single bag with Airfix. It's quite normal, single bag with all of the sprues packed in there. So just grab my favourite Alpha hobby knife again, and we'll open that bag and see what's inside. As a patriotic Australian, the variant that I'm really looking forward to is the Beaufort Mk 7 and Beaufort Mk 8, which were locally produced by the government aircraft factory in Australia under licence. But look, I'm not complaining about a Mk 1. We've only seen, I think, two families of Beaufort up until now in 1/72 scale, and they were from Frog back in the old days. I think it was a Mk 1, Mk 2, although they actually gave markings for an Australian Mk 8 in one of their boxings. And Special Hobby released a number of Beauforts in 72nd scale, including a Mk 1, and I think they also did an Aussie Mk 7 as well. Special Hobby just love Aussie subjects for some reason. Okay, without too much more chatter, here are the fuselage halves on the fuselage sprue. The surface textures are very fine, crisp, recessed. They look quite nice. They do look very nice indeed. And there's the other fuselage half. I hope you can see some of that nice surface detail close up there. The two big differences between a Mk 1 and a Mk 8 are that the Mk 8 has a much bigger fin on the leading edge, and it also has a different type of engine nacelle with Wright Cyclone engines. Now here we have the control surfaces as well. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I thought it might have been a little exaggerated when I just first had a glance at it, but I think the fabric texture looks alright. I think it'll be fine under paint. That's good. It looks like we have two variations on the turret openings for a fuselage insert there. One of them is slightly larger than the other, so I'll be curious to see what that's all about. And we also have main wheels that are bulged and flattened at the bottom. Presumably, hopefully, at the bottom. They look a bit strange if they're flattened at the top. Here we have the wing sprue, and once again, nice crisp detail. The texture of the plastic is a little bit satin, but it's certainly not eggshell. It's quite smooth, and once again, you know, really nice surface textures. Looks like the wheel wells are actually molded into the wing, lower wing. Oh, what I didn't show you, I know I will, was what I was looking at while you were looking at the outside of the fuselage half, and that was the inside, which has a whole stack of really nice raised surface features there. So that's going to look really nice under some careful weathering and dry brushing, I would say. So let's see. Oh, crash. I'll pick that up later. Let's see what we have here next. And we have here the engines. So we've got two engines, not surprisingly. The nacelles, the rear of the engine nacelles. So they're molded, the nacelle rear parts, as separate parts, which will make it easier for them to do different variants with different nacelles a bit later on. We have the cockpit floor in there as well. Propellers. Looks like there's probably a wing spar there, and there as well, another wing spar. So we've got two wing spars to make sure the dihedral is correct. So they're all good. Here we have the main undercarriage, the interior of the turret. We have some weapons here. We've got the torpedo, the front, I presume. Oh no, it's the cowl ring for the engines, and some smaller detail parts. And the last grey sprue is also detail parts. So we have, it looks like cockpit parts, the instrument panel, radio equipment, rudder pedals, control column, looks like it's probably undercarriage doors, crew seats, and more detail parts as well, rear undercarriage, pedo tube, whole stack of stuff there. All nicely moulded, not very much flash, if any at all, and fairly fine connecting points for the parts to the sprues. So that all looks pretty nice. And now we have the clear parts, which are mercifully packed into a separate bag. We'll open that up, hopefully without stabbing myself. And yes, here we have the clear parts. So although we have two fuselage, upper fuselage inserts for the turret, it looks like, oh no, we do have two different styles of turret. So that's interesting. So we've got quite a big, a larger turret there, and a smaller turret there. We have the nose glazing, the windscreen. It looks like, oh yes, that's quite clever. There's a DF football. It's actually got in clear. It's got the DF loop moulded on the inside of the two halves, and wing mounted landing lights as well. So plastic parts, the clear plastic parts are quite transparent. They're relatively thin, not a great deal of distortion as far as I can see. So they look pretty good as well. Remaining in the box then are just two little items, and they are the Decal Sheet Colours look good, satin in texture, and registration looks good on these as well. And finally we have the instruction sheet, which is folded in half, because the box is actually quite compact. It's very full, so they look like pretty typical Airfix instructions. We can see the bits that you're working on are highlighted in red. What I'm just curious about is the use of the alternative turret, to see if that has any bearing on this kit, or if it's only going to be for later marks. If you can bear with me just for a moment, please excuse the top of my head. It looks like the big turret is used on this one, but that's all. Right, and the torpedo gear, and we have two markings, both for Bristol Beaufort Mk.Is. So we have that one there in dark earth, dark green and sky, and another one, Beaufort Mk.I, in dark green, dark earth and night black. Might have been nice to see a little more variation than just two fairly standard camouflage schemes. There are a lot of really interesting variations on colours and markings on various Beauforts, even these early Mark 1 and 2s. So that's it. I'm sure you won't have to wait very long wherever you happen to be, particularly if you're in the UK, for this new kit to eventually turn up on your doorstep. But I'm very pleased that I've had a chance to get an early look at the Airfix Beaufort Mk.I in 72nd scale, and I'm impressed. It looks really nice. The quality of the plastic is good. I can't see any obvious short shots or moulding issues, some of which have plagued earlier releases. The texture of the plastic is really nice too. The surface details and the level of detail is terrific on the inside and the outside of this one. So buy with confidence, I say. Not sure how it'll go together, but hopefully we'll find out fairly soon. Just while I'm here, I'll show you what I've actually got on my modelling desk behind me, and that is, you might recall recently I reviewed the what is it called, the flying testbed 1/32 scale 109 conversion, which is a very nice resin conversion based on the Edward BF109E1 in 32nd scale. And I've just about got the major components together. You'll see that the fit is extremely good, and it'll be an interesting variation on the theme of the 109. And I should be getting some paint on this tomorrow or the next day, so you'll be seeing more of that before too long. In the meantime though, from Brett Green, HyperScale Video Workshop, it's bye for now.